Okay. It is started.
All righty. Well, where do you want to start?
Let me pull up the assignment here. Maybe.
Mm. I'm about to say I have it pulled up. If
Okay. Yeah, that's good. It's
okay.
still loading. So.
Yeah, internet connection problems and trying to go to school online is a struggle.
I know.
All right, let me see. I thought I had it pulled up. Apparently that was just in my brain. That's all right. Okay. Here we go. So I've got the rubric pulled up.
Okay.
Okay, so for the issue, to get full credit, analysis of the problem explains why it's a problem of social justice, explicitly and reasonably drawing from concepts presented in the textbook and the module, and it gives examples for each point made and observes the slide limit. So the slide limit, I got that too somewhere. Okay, so for the explanation of the issue, that's 1 to 2 slides. Okay. And we got 1 slide for that.
Okay.
Do you have the presentation pulled up?
It's loading.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have. I can read it to you if you want me to. So it's disparities in diabetes care in North Carolina, analysis of the issue, African Americans, Native Americans, and the elderly are groups most affected by disparities related to diabetes. It's consistent with a DAYS model of vulnerability. Advanced age, low socioeconomic status, and low education levels are factors related to disparities in diabetes care. And then it looks like Carrie's got a good amount of speaker notes for her to use.
Yeah, down there at the bottom. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let me try to see it. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. We were just going over the presentation. Okay. Your slide just happened to be number 1.
Okay. I just got home. Hold on just a second. I'm going to go. Do you guys want to skip to yours and then we'll go back to mine?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm going to try to see if I can share if my internet is good enough. Can you see the slides?
Yep.
On the presentation? Okay.
Yep.
Do you want me to skip ahead?
That's fine with me. I'm just getting mine.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can jump on my section. I had the solutions.
Okay.
Let me get there. Okay. So I have 2 solutions. Solution 1 is community-based diabetes prevention programs. This is supported this is long on the slide. I'm just kind of talking about it. It's supported by the theory of vulnerability and a DAYS model of vulnerability. So basically, with the community-based prevention programs, it's the implementation of federally and state-funded diabetes programs within community-based programs or organizations that already exist, such as YMCAs and local health departments. Utilizing these programs, it allows residents to feel comfortable because it's programs that they are usually already participating in or services they already utilize. So it allows them to participate without fear of prejudice or bias. These programs are knowledge-based, so they increase knowledge about health status and preventative behaviors to try to prevent diabetes or delay its onset. And then it's non-invasive and it's low cost. This is a proven prevention model. Longitudinal study completed by the NIH had 3,000 participants with 10-year follow-up. 34% of those patients successfully delayed their onset of diabetes. So that's clinically significant. And then decreasing the prevalence of diabetes in North Carolina, especially in high-risk populations, would decrease healthcare costs of the state as a whole and increase the health of its residents. So that's solution number one.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Solution number two is electronic health record tracking to identify and reduce diabetes care disparities. I don't know what EHR you guys use, but we have Epic at my facility, and it kind of already does this. It kind of track, and this is just me talking. It kind of tracks like the amount of patients that you're listed as their PCP who have like a hemoglobin A1C under 9, or you know what their renal function and stuff like that is. Like that's on like your dashboard, and it kind of helps you as a provider to track how you're doing too. So anyway.
Yeah, we use Epic too, but I didn't know that it did that.
Yeah, it might be that I know we just had an update a couple months ago, and it might just be part of the update. So anyway, so using the EHR to track your patients is so the use of the EHR within clinical practice sites helps identify patients with diabetes and patients at risk for diabetes, and also identify disparities and variables and the risk factors that are affecting their care. This makes providers aware of any biases or injustices that are going on, and allows them to reduce the health equity gaps. It allows for trackable progress for patients within individual practice sites, not necessarily as a system whole. Makes progress quantifiable, such as hemoglobin A1C levels, cholesterol, and renal function. This allows for higher quality, safer patient care, and it allows the providers to individualize treatment plans for patients. And utilization of the EHR patient portals, such as MyChart, gives patients the opportunity to get them involved and improve their healthcare outcomes. I saw that little note you wrote down there, Sharissa, and I kind of threw it in there.
That was what my DMP project was on. So I was like, oh,
gotcha. Yeah, that was a good idea.
All right, I think that looks great too.
Yeah, very good.
Did you look at the rubric, make sure these have everything?
Yeah, hold on just a second. I'm trying to, not being computer friendly. Okay, so the rubric for the solutions. It doesn't say that you have to have more than one, but I think 2 is sufficient.
Yeah, I think 2 is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a minimum of 1. 2 is fine.
It said, and you observed that we did observe the slide limit, 1 slide per solution. It reviews, so we went over the solutions with appropriate evidence and the theory to support them. And it addresses the health equities specifically. So, I mean, I think we kind of did that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
All right.
You just want me to go back and go to mine?
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So I assume since I'll do the first slide, do you guys want me to just start the presentation and give the title and our names?
Yeah, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
And
fine
then
if you
I'll
want.
then I'll go into my slide. So we will begin with an analysis of diabetes as an issue of social justice. Diabetes affects over 30 million Americans. It is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. This is a clearly defined health condition with great implications on the quality of life in the U.S. A day defines social injustice as a health issue existing in a vulnerable population. These populations have a greater level of vulnerability than the general population. Diabetes is more common in those with a low level of education and or low socioeconomic status in poor areas of North Carolina, in the elderly, and in African Americans and Native Americans. Kagan, Smith, and Chin and Smith address the impact of social injustice on health and well-being. They define inequality, including racial disparities, poverty, lack of education, age, and gender, as the root of injustice. They call injustice a major health risk worldwide. Here in the US, we outspend the rest of the world in healthcare, but our outcomes do not reflect this spending. So who prettied the slide for me?
I think Sandy did this.
Okay, that looks
Yeah,
nice.
it was me.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and prevalence, did you guys already?
No.
The prevalence of diabetes is not mine.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I kind of did that one, so I can do it. So and then I'll just the prevalence of diabetes. It's in North Carolina. It has age adjusted incidence of diabetes of 80%. Hold on, my dyslexia kicked in. I read that wrong. Age adjusted incidence of diabetes in North Carolina has increased over 80% in the last 15 years. It's most prevalent in those with low socioeconomic status. It's most prevalent in the eastern portion of North Carolina, which is also the poorest region of the state. Happens to be where I live and practice. So we see a lot of this. Regardless of socioeconomic status or income, prevalence of diabetes is greater in African Americans and Native Americans when compared to Caucasians. Elderly North Carolinians are also at risk for developing diabetes. 21.4% of adults over 65 in North Carolina have diabetes. So it's very similar to the analysis of the issue slide.
Yeah, but we have to do, I mean, we had to cover both. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I tried to just pare down mine because yours was a little more specific.
it's cool.
So,
I think,
but basically, I mean, when I wrote the analysis, both of my slides I pulled directly from the rubric.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I pulled every detail that the rubric required.
can't go wrong doing
I
it that
can
way.
read through those if you want, but
Can't go wrong following the rubric.
yeah, right. I mean, and that's So I can read through it, but basically, it's pulled straight from there. So
Okay.
that's specifically the information I put in the slide.
From this one, this cost or the analysis.
On the analysis and then the clinical and social justice aspects.
Okay. Okay.
And then the sequela and cost, I'll read that because I did that.
Okay.
Diabetes, again, is the 7th leading cause of death nationally. Uncontrolled diabetes can cause neuropathy, stroke, heart disease, kidney failure, gastroparesis, retinopathy, limb amputation, skin disorders, and hypertension. North Carolina, that's supposed to be, I guess she didn't. Anyway, North Carolina State Medicaid program spent $525 million for diabetes-related medical care and prescription drugs in adults in one fiscal year. So that's a significant amount of money. And on average, patients with diabetes will spend 2.3 times as much on medical care than patients without diabetes. Not to mention, patients with diabetes have more absences from work, and that results in lost wages and lost productivity.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so then clinical and social justice aspects. So do you guys know, is there a way to make this slide match the rest of them?
I know. I was a little bit
My ADD is like,
a little bit busy, especially like I just had to do my DMP presentation. Like we weren't allowed to have any pictures, like it was limited word, and I was like, whoa.
yeah, it's kind of a lot busy. And I don't know how we ended up with two things that got confusing.
I know. And I sent an email about that, and I was hoping to, but I just thought, why did we start over?
Yeah. I don't know. I tried to copy and paste your
honestly,
footnotes.
I like this theme better. It's more clean. But that's just my 2 cents. So regardless, I think we need to make whatever. So I don't know if we can make. Okay, so let me see what this one was. Hold on just 1 second, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Theme that this is in. Do you guys know?
I don't. I think Sandy did this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she can make. I'm clicking through the themes and I don't see the one that she's got matched. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just don't know if we'll be able to get a hold of her before it's due tomorrow to fix it all.
You don't know what?
If we'll be able to get in touch with her before we have to turn it in tomorrow.
It's due tomorrow at midnight.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just different too.
So just what if the slides, right? So
yeah, just the slides are due, and then we'll do our presentation on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. We could try and email her and just say, can you make slides 6 and 13? Really, is 7 different too? Or is it just, I mean, it's got the lines that are like everything else. I don't know. Maybe we can just email her and say, can you please make 6 and 13 match?
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway, I'll go ahead. So clinical and social justice aspects. This is not my whole notes slide.
If it's on the other one, I didn't mess with that. I didn't delete it. So if you go in there, it should be still there.
All right. So, okay, hold on. Okay, so the first one, here, I bet this is it. No. Oh, yeah, this has changed. So, my slides are not here. This is not right.
You can eat it all. They're all the same.
Did this one not have, one of them not have honey though?
They both don't have honey. I ate off the one that.
You already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Analysis, prevalence. Looking at the other one and this one together. Okay, so she changed the name of the slides. One of my slides is missing. Okay, so I'll have to add that in.
Okay.
Let me see. So this one's there. Yeah, and it's missing most of the notes. Do you want me to do this after we hang up and just go through my slides that are correct and then I'll add them in after we're done?
Yeah, I think as long as like the meat of your slide is like there, you can go back and do your own like little tweaks. That's fine.
one of my slides is missing. So I'll just read through.
Oh, it's missing altogether.
And then I'll fix them. Huh?
I didn't know it was missing altogether. That's problematic.
Yeah, there's a whole slide gone. Okay. So I was like, this is weird. Okay. So the first one, I'll just go ahead and read them, and then I will fix it. And I'm going to regroup the titles the way that I changed them, because this is confusing the way they're set up right now. So, okay. Basically, the sequela and cost should be part of the epidemiological description. And then so are my two slides. So clinical and social justice are mine. So the first slide is the one that's missing. And so this one is the clinical issue of diabetes is considered a social injustice because of the vulnerable social groups affected by the disease. There's a great physical cost involved for those suffering from diabetes, ranging from life-altering complications to death. Please recall diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in the U.S. There is also a tremendous financial cost to individuals obtaining treatment. In 2017, the cost to treat patients with a diagnosis of diabetes was $327 billion, including $237 billion in direct medical costs and $90 billion in reduced productivity. And then on to the next slide. Let me pull that one up. So that one, the slide's there, but my notes are not. So that will be easy to fix.
So so the information on that slide and then the one on the sequela and cost could probably be, do you think they could maybe be combined?
I would leave it, because otherwise it's going to be way too long.
That's fine.
I think. And we're within the number of slides, so we're fine.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one is the one that's missing. So social determinants of health, including conditions in which individuals are born, grow, live, work, and age, are closely tied to outcomes of type 2 diabetes in the U.S. Physical and social environments, possibly comprising low income, employment insecurity, low educational attainment, and poor living conditions, are just as relevant to prevention and treatment of diabetes as are biologic and behavioral factors such as symptoms, diet, and physical activity. Social determinants of health can be seen as primary influencers and best predictors of health outcomes, both in individuals and in populations. Income, education, health, housing, and access to nutritious food are key to the development and progression of type 2 diabetes. Individuals and populations with lower income and or less education are at a 2 to 4-fold greater risk for development of type 2 diabetes. This tells us type 2 diabetes is socially graded. Clinical and social injustice related to type 2 diabetes is a cyclical process which is derived from and contributes to poor outcomes. A lack of resources for help by people, a constant scramble to make ends meet can lead to high levels of chronic stress, initiating both psychological and biologic responses. Chronic stress can then lead to depression and anxiety, decreased self-esteem, and low energy and motivation, which can increase the chance for self-destructive behaviors and choices. Physical manifestation of chronic stress leads to negative consequences, which could include blood pressure, cortisol, and blood glucose levels, and in the possibility of a decrease in successfully managing future stress. As time passes, these bodily reactions, in addition to negative psychological responses and behaviors, increase the probability of obesity and type 2 diabetes. So that one, the one that's missing, is kind of like the key to everything about why this is a social injustice. So make sure.
Yeah, that was good.
The one, can you guys see the slides that I have pulled up? Is that not the slide that I'm on?
Does it start with social injustice? I have it on my phone. It's really small.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That one's on here.
That one's on there. It is. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get it backwards?
The first one wasn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The diabetes clinical issue and social injustice. Yeah. So I'll get it fixed. But the one I just read is the one that's missing already my notes. So
yes, all the rest
right
of your notes weren't on there. Okay, so then we did the solution. So I
Yep.
still need to work on my my speaker notes. But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anybody, and if you guys thought maybe I should add like a little description under each of the thing. I was telling her that I just got done doing my DMP presentation, and we like weren't able to put like any pictures or like lots of words, and so this PowerPoint was really a little overwhelming when I started looking at it. So, but I don't want to make sure that I don't have two lists. But
I don't think that, I don't know. Did they didn't even really go into the amount of art or pictures or anything like that.
Yeah.
They?
So
So with mine, go ahead.
So I was just gonna like kind of jump in, like who gains from the problem? I have insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies. Can you guys think of any more?
See, this one came up. Let me do it over and see if I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on two things at the same.
I think those are good as long as, you know, when you do your like little presentation or when you talk about your slides, you just say like they make so much money and da 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 da. They can charge more for insurance, you know. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, and then loss, I have patients, families, and providers.
Yeah.
And then I kind of put a little bit on this, just who bears the cost of solutions. So for the community-based programs, I just put the support of those programs. They'll have to provide resources to start those. And then the healthcare systems and offices will have to provide the resources for the electronic health record.
Mm-hmm.
And then Medicaid with financing the care for diabetes. And then I just put how they patient with diabetes costs 2.3 times as much as somebody without diabetes.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of fill that in a little bit, but as long as you guys think that that covers everything as far as the solutions.
Yeah, let me pull up the rubric real quick.
Okay. There wasn't a whole lot on this section, so.
No, there wasn't. It was for the, so the, well, so you got, and I guess as long as you are able to relate it back to social justice, which I think this topic was kind of a good one to do because it's kind of easy to, you know, pull out the social injustices in it. So, all right.
Okay.
And then I guess, do we want to go over Sandy's part, or at least proofread it?
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
All right. Well, I guess I'll read it. So conclusion for the agenda, it's to achieve proposed solutions. Legislative agenda needs to focus for financial compensation. And I don't really know where she's trying to go with this. Let me go back.
So do we know why, do you know what's going on with her?
No.
Like why she's not here tonight?
No, she never replied back.
Oh. You know, I'm sorry I did not answer the email, but I saw it. So I just.
That's okay.
I'm here.
I figured I'd still send it to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I apologize for that. I don't like not responding, but
I got a little bit faster with creating this one.
A little busy clinic day, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe she's gotten her, I mean, it's got the, for the conclusion, you have to like, do the agenda, the government is supplying the Milstead process. Yeah. The governmental response, and how would you implement and evaluate? Okay, so I see where she's going.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of read over it. I think it looks okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now that I went back and I was like, oh, I see what she's doing there. So So I guess now the question is, who wants to turn it in tomorrow?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that everybody's done.
I'm gonna finish mine right now, so no worries.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm
I'm gonna-
actually gonna
Well,
redo.
because I can,
I'm just gonna
we can do the
redo.
speaker notes whenever.
Yeah, you can go back and fill those in whenever.
Yeah.
I'm just redoing my slide, the second one that doesn't
Okay.
match.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
Yeah.
coming in with the right
Theme.
theme.
All right.
know
So
why it
maybe
did
we
that.
just send out an email that we met and that maybe let's pick a time, and I can turn it in if you want, and we can just pick a time, and then all final edits and everything be by that time.
Yeah, that sounds good. Do you want to say like maybe like 7 tomorrow night? I mean, I don't know what you got.
Yep. That sounds perfect. And then if she needs it to be different, then she can just let us know.
Okay.
That sound okay?
And then will you just email, I guess, this link so then we can turn them in to get credit, please?
Yes. So to turn it in, I was trying to look at that today. I'm a little confused on that. So we just post it to
I
the
think it's
discussion.
like, well, no, because it's not under the assignment thing. Or at least that's what I
know. The
So it's
assignment
under.
said, don't post it to here.
Yeah,
I
I thought it was the recording of our. Oh no, for posting the slides. Oh gosh, I don't remember.
You have to post in the discussion area, both the team presentation and your discussion posting.
So for these, I guess we have a what you call a group discussion board, right?
Yes, for just our group.
Yeah. Do you just want to post those to there, and we can just kind of direct Dr. Baker to be like, hey,
Yes, that's what I'll do. I can do that.
yeah. So just put the recordings there and be like, these are our recordings, proof that we met and we discussed, and
Yeah.
that's probably the easiest way to do it with 2 separate recordings.
All right, that sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay.
We'll do that.
What if I just try and change the theme of this thing right now? And if it doesn't work, I can just undo it. Like, here, let me just look. Don't freak out.
I'm fine with that.
I can go back if it doesn't work. But I'm just looking at like a more simple theme. Oh, see, it's not working right. It's picking up some of the slides and not all of them.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Okay, I'm going to undo that. All right, never mind that idea. I don't know unless we retype it or something. I don't know, lost. So maybe in our email to her, we can just ask, can you please try and make the slides look more cohesive? Because my 2 that I put in, like the background theme is right, but maybe I can work on it more and try and make it look more like the other slides.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we can work on it. I'm going to work on it some in the morning too.
Okay.
So. All right.
All righty.
Well,
Thanks,
you
guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sharissa.
Thank you. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
glad it's over. All right. Bye.
Bye.